Good afternoon, everyone. Is my screen visible?
Yes. Start.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Farad Mansouri and presenting a case report of choroidal osteoma with choroidal neovascular membrane. And there is nil financial disclosure with this presentation. As we all know that choroidal osteoma is a rare benign tumor of an unilateral condition ossifying in nature characterized by mature cancellous bone involving the choroid. Tumor affects the juxtapapillary and macular areas of retina and seen as an orange irregular subretinal mass with multiple small spike-like vascular tufts on its surface. And the bone density was evaluated by radiography, ecography, or computed tomography. Choroidal osteoma commonly leads to choroidal neovascularization and also associated with subretinal fluid, hemorrhages, and serous retinal detachment. Few therapies are directed for such complications. We reported a 37-year-old male patient presented to our institute with complaint of diminution of vision in the left eye since 8 to 9 months, which was gradual, painless, and progressive in nature and exaggerated from last 10 to 15 days. The best corrected visual acuity was 6 by 6 in the right eye and 6 by 18 in the left eye, and the entire segments of both eyes were normal, and intraocular pressures were normal in both eyes. On dilated fundus examination, the choroidal osteoma with choroidal neovascularization with subretinal serous fluid with intraretinal edema was seen in the left eye and documented on fundus photograph. On B-scan ultrasound of left eye, the calcification of choroid was seen and calcified mass in the posterolateral aspect of left eyeball was seen in the CT scan. On left eye OCT, we see a type 1 choroidal neovascularization with presence of subretinal fluid, and thus the diagnosis of choroidal osteoma with choroidal neovascularization with subretinal fluid was made, and the patient was advised treatment in the form of antivascular endothelial growth factor ranibizumab injection at monthly interval for 3 months. With each subsequent injection, we reported OCT, and we can see that after third dose of injection anti-VEGF, the patient visual acuity remained the same and didn't worsen. And the resolution of choroidal neovascularization and regression of subretinal fluid was noted. Thus, from the studies, we found that intravitreal injection of anti-VEGF like ranibizumab or bevacizumab are effective in choroidal osteoma as it reduces the permeability of choroidal vessels, which leads to regression of choroidal neovascularization, resolution of associated subretinal fluid, and improvement in visual acuity. From the documented study, Ji Hoon Song showed that intravitreal injection of bevacizumab or ranibizumab for serous retinal detachment secondary to choroidal osteoma resulted in both visual and anatomical improvements. The other treatment modalities like laser photocoagulation and photodynamic therapy was tried in extrafoveal and subfoveal choroidal neovascularization by causing focal decalcification of the tumor, which conversely associated with overlying retinal damage, and photodynamic therapy might be visually detrimental, especially in subfoveal tumors, and require multiple sessions. The visual prognosis depends on the tumor location, decalcification status, overlying retinal pigment epithelial atrophy, presence of choroidal neovascularization, persistence of subretinal fluid, and occurrence of subretinal hemorrhage. Thus, finally, we can conclude that the aggressive management by repeated intravitreal injections of anti-VEGF are helpful in regression of choroidal neovascularization, and resorption of subretinal fluid of such a rare tumor can improve visual acuity and relieve the symptoms. These are my references. Thank you.
Dr. Deori, will you take this? Okay. Maybe she's
Yes,
not there.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Farhad, for the wonderful presentation. So you feel that anti-VEGFs would be the first in case of choroidal osteoma. So that is what you wanted to present here.
Yes, ma'am. In case if it presents with choroidal neovascularization, then anti-VEGF are helpful.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Ma'am, Anita ma'am, would you like to add something to it?
Yeah, and what is your long-term follow-up on this? Does it recur? How many injections are required? Is there some protocol that you have to follow? How many number of injections, or is it just watching how it regresses?
Okay, from the literature, we have seen that at the follow-up of 10 years, even also it doesn't recur, and the decalcification of the tumor will not affect the visual acuity on long-term follow-up. But in our case, we have given just the injection, so we have only 1 month of follow-up, so that the limitation of our case report.
Yeah, because many of these do tend to recur, so we need a long-term follow-up before we can actually comment on how useful it is. Okay.